Not since the mid-1990s and the tidal wave of deregulation in the electric industry have we seen the width and depth of attacks on the industry that we are seeing today. Never mind that deregulation was a complete disaster. A new and growing cast of characters are hard at work dismantling the electric generation, transmission, and distribution that has served California and Nevada so well for more than a century. These threats exist all across the United States, but are most intensely seen in California, the country's capital for experimentation.
This is Tom Dalzell, Business Manager of Local 1245. This video will give a quick overview of the various threats to our existence, as well as what we plan to do to protect the job security, wages, benefits, and working conditions of our members in the utility industry. Outright public takeover of PG&E is an idea that is never off the table.
The South San Joaquin Irrigation District is proceeding with a takeover of PG&E's electric system in and around Manteca. A small but devout group of anti-PG&E activists in San Francisco have never given up on their dream to municipalize the electric system there, despite losing on the ballot 3 times in the last 15 years. In mid-March, the California Secretary of State approved for signature gathering an initiative that would convert San Diego Gas and Electric, Southern California Edison, and PG&E into a single public utility.
Any takeover of a utility by another presents grave dangers to employees. Pensions and seniority disappear for those employees lucky enough to retain their jobs after the takeover. For this reason, we've opposed takeovers. They just aren't good for our members. And takeovers are expensive, and we've usually prevailed in fighting them just on the cost issue. But that's changing with a new gimmick.
Over the last 10 years, Goldman Sachs and other investment bankers have discovered the money to be made with so-called public-private partnerships. Goldman Sachs created GS Infrastructure Partners in 2006, and it is increasingly involved in utility infrastructure, including electric and gas systems. Just as Goldman Sachs financed construction of the 49ers Stadium in Santa Clara, they have a business model in which they partner with cities to take over utilities, providing the capital that cities need to buy out the utilities using eminent domain. This new twist makes the threat of municipalization much more of a clear and present danger.
In addition to the outright takeovers, there are a host of slice-by-slice attacks on the electric utility industry.
Today, more than 2,000 workers are performing low-income energy efficiency program work for PG&E through 36 different contractors. They are doing this work without the protection of a union contract and are paid wages barely higher than the minimum wage.
Without serious thought to the matter, the PUC has handed several thousand energy efficiency jobs that should be good union utility jobs to non-union contractors who provide low-wage, dead-end jobs. PUC isn't the only regulator giving away our work.
The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, or FERC, has deregulated through Rule 1000 the construction, operation, and maintenance of transmission lines and substations. A utility building a new transmission line has to compete with third parties. PG&E has won 3 of the 4 bids on new transmission work, but recently lost a bid to NextEra, an out-of-state company from Florida, to build a new substation in Paso Robles.
Our members who work in power generation are especially vulnerable to this new wave of attacks. New EPA regulations on greenhouse gases endanger coal-burning generating facilities such as Valmy in Nevada. But nobody in generation is safe. We have hundreds of members working in combined cycle plants, hydro generation, and Diablo Canyon, all of whom are at risk.
At Diablo Canyon, the cost of seismic upgrades present a threat, as does litigation involving once-through cooling, as does pressure from Friends of the Earth and other environmental groups. But the greatest threat may be economic. The California Independent System Operator, or CAL-ISO, determines the preference for power coming into the system. Simply put, Solar and wind and geothermal power are first in, last out of the system. If there is enough solar power on a sunny day, the power generated by Diablo Canyon would not be used. A nuclear power plant can't operate economically on demand. The economic pressure on Diablo Canyon could mean trouble for 600 local 1245 members.
This would be enough to keep us busy, but there's more.
Community choice aggregation allows a community to aggregate its citizens and buy power on their behalf. It is an innocent-sounding program, but where it has been implemented, it hasn't been innocent. Shell Oil has seen the chance for a public-private partnership and has jumped in as part of Marin Clean Energy, the largest community choice aggregator in California. The effect on us? Loss of load to Shell means a threat to our generation employees, pure and simple. The same with rooftop solar and the promise of battery storage to smooth out the intermittent nature of solar. Because of government and regulatory subsidies, it's cheap to the homeowner. Because of the ISO's preference for solar, excess rooftop solar goes into the system first.
We're still not done with the threats out there.
Direct access is back, the program that lets large users buy power themselves rather than through PG&E. Again, a threat to our generation employees. And if that were not enough, Solar City and others are offering what they call microgrids, small independent power networks. They speak of it as the best blueprint for how one should rebuild the electricity delivery infrastructure. That's just another way of saying, we've come for your jobs.
That, my friends, is a big group of challenges. Now, a few of the players fit the black hat role played by Enron and other charlatans 15 years ago. But some are admired new generation giants such as Google, Facebook, Yahoo, Apple, Solar City, and Tesla, to name a few. What does this mean for us, for you? That means we have to do a lot more than our conventional job of negotiating and administering contracts. We will not sit on our heels like the auto industry did in the face of the threat of Japanese imports in the 1970s. And we're taking each challenge and analyzing the best approach. We have political consultants, pollsters, regulatory lawyers, and lobbyists, and we're using them in different combinations that suit the different challenges. On top of that, we have 40 trained member organizers who've been through battles and are ready to step in as needed. When we started sending our members to work on campaigns, we knew that we would need them one day in California. We didn't think it would be this soon, but they're ready and so are we. We have identified 3 issues where a strong community-based campaign is probably part of our solution, and we will make good use of our trained warriors. We have the financial resources and organizing resources for this battle. Most importantly, we have the will to win. I'm not saying that it'll be easy, but I am saying that we are prepared for the fight. We are ready to rumble, and rumble we will.